Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Beth, the Spiral Path Witch here at Spiral Path Healing Arts, and I want to wish you a happy new year. I hope that your holiday season was restful and wonderful, or if it was busy and hectic, that you're having a chance now after the turn of the year to rest, recuperate, relax, rejuvenate, and regenerate. On the note of regeneration, I want to announce a new section of my channel here that I'm going to work toward providing more information on for the new year, and that is regeneration and sustainable living, how we can live easily and effortlessly and regeneratively toward our planet Earth, our mother, and live with sacred actions. And I'm getting the term sacred actions from this book, Sacred Actions by Dana O'Driscoll, and the subtitle is Living the Wheel of the Year Through Earth-Centered Sustainable Practices. And my sisters and I, the Wyrd sisters, we read this book together. We all purchased our own copy and read it together and did a book talk with the three of us on our Wyrd Sisters Yule offerings. And I will put more information on what the Wyrd Sisters are doing for the new year. We are going to follow the 8 spots around this wheel of the year again for 2022, and share that with anyone who's interested in joining us through our offerings as the Wyrd Sisters Under the Willow. And there'll be more information about that going forward. But we read this book together, and this is a wonderful, wonderful book that challenges it. The blurb on the back says, a challenge that many pagans and earth-based spiritual practitioners face is how to integrate sustainable living within our everyday lives. And that is something I have tried to do pretty much my entire adult life with mixed success. And again, I follow a spiral path, and if something doesn't work the first time, inevitably I'm going to come back around to it over time with fresh eyes, new resources, a different stage of life that may enable me to do things a little bit differently. And one of the really good things I liked about this book is she talks about a lot about starting really where you're at right now and not trying to do everything all at once. And she talks about the free range fantasy, which I know I have lived a free range fantasy my entire life, pretty much, of wanting to go back to the earth and live the way my ancestors did, churning my own butter, sewing my own clothes, having a full garden and fruit trees, and brewing my own mead and ale and things like that. All the DIY kind of off the grid kind of stuff. But my life, the realities of my life, never really allowed me that freedom to do that. And it always made me feel like I was failing. So this has reinforced the idea that small actions can lead to big change. And so that's what this section of Spiral Path channel is going to be about now, about how we can make small actions toward this, not just sustainable, because sustaining where we're at now is not enough. We need to regenerate. We need to make some big changes if we're going to save this planet for future generations, and perhaps even for our own generation to be able to continue to live. And we can't continue to live the way we've been living. That's just a fact. And if you disagree, then maybe this isn't the channel for you. So I wanted to talk about our toilets and what we do on them and what goes down them. I know I talk about cat litter and dog poop a lot on my pet care part. So why not bring it to the people part too? Now, I'm not going to get very scatological in this discussion. I just want to share a couple little changes that I've made in my bathroom over the last few months to become more of a sacred action. And so if you can make using your toilet a sacred action, you can probably make almost any part of your life a sacred action. So what a couple changes that I've done, well, before even the great toilet paper run on toilet paper in 2020. No pun intended there. Sorry about that. Um, but the, fights in the aisles of the grocery stores over toilet paper in early to mid 2020. Even before that, I had decided to get and install a bidet attachment to my toilet seat. Very simple. It didn't cost a lot of money, and I was able to install it myself. And I'm pretty handy, but I still think even if you're not pretty handy, you can do this. You don't need a lot of plumbing skills. It took a little bit more of a challenge to move it from the old house to this house, just because of the location of the toilet in this house and getting back underneath there to make the fittings, but I did it. And so making that small change over a year ago, almost 2 years ago now, really was just a small change, but it was a very good change. And I just made it because I just liked the idea of cleanliness after my business down there. But that didn't really completely eliminate the need for toilet paper. It reduced the need because I let the bidet do most of the work and then just dried up things afterwards. When I moved here and I was living alone and I got my bidet attachment put on the toilet here, then I got a small little basket that fit on the back of my tank, just, sitting behind me on the tank, and put old wash face cloths in it that I no longer, that were stained or whatever had happened to them, and they weren't. I had way more washcloths when I moved here. Now that it was one person using washcloths rather than 3 or 4 people using washcloths, so I had all these extra washcloths. I kind of divided them up. These are my face ones. These are the ones that go in the back of the toilet, and then I just used those to dry off and put them in a little basket on the floor and wash them separately whenever I did my laundry. That's been working great. The only problem is, to be quite frank, a whole washcloth is a lot more surface area than I really need most jobs. So after I made my purple robe that I love so much, I would put that on after my shower. My skin was still damp and my hair was dripping, and it absorbed the water right quick, and it was so soft and so cozy. And I've washed it a few times now since I've made it, and it washes up beautifully. And I'm like, I have all that scrap fabric left from making that robe. So today I came in here with my rotary cutter and I cut the fabric up into these. They're probably about 4 by 5, 4 by 6 little squares. I've got a nice little stack here. They're bright purple. They don't look like washcloths, so I'll know that these go on the toilet for my bum, and the washcloths, face cloths, won't get confused. So that's a win-win. I could also cut these smaller and put a little jar of them next to my sink and use them for makeup remover pads or face cloths, that kind of thing, if I needed to. But I have plenty of washcloths, so I don't really need that. But if you go through a lot of cotton balls or cotton rounds, makeup remover rounds, that would be a great option too. But this is perfect because I know the fabric is 100% organic cotton. It is super soft on the brushed side and even still pretty soft on the knit side. So everything's going to be nice and comfy down there. And it's scrap fabric. There wasn't enough here to make anything, weren't any big enough pieces to make anything out of, but I didn't really want to just toss it in the landfill. So I was trying to, saving it to think of what I could make out of it. And it's super, it's gonna do the job. And I still have extra left. So if I run out, if these don't go through the wash as well as I would like them to, or, they just, after a while, don't want to keep them around, I can recycle these and make more. I could run these through my serger, put some purple thread on my serger and serge the edges of these if I needed to. I thought about using a flannel pillowcase that I have that I don't use on my bed anymore and cutting that up, and that I would probably need to serge the edges because as I launder it, the edges on that, because it's woven, would fray and get, threads would come off and things. But this doesn't ravel and doesn't fray because it is interlock with a brushed back. So I think these are going to be perfect. Now, other people still occasionally come to my home. I'm not a complete hermit yet. So I knew that I still needed toilet paper for, well, I have 2 bathrooms, first of all. A tiny house, 900 square feet, has 2 bathrooms. How lucky am I, right? So I don't have a bidet on both toilets. I don't really use the second bathroom very often, but occasionally. So I needed toilet paper in there. And when guests or other people are at my house, toilet paper. So I did order this plant paper, and it is tree-free, toxin-free toilet paper. And there are 8 rolls in here, 200 sheets. It's 3 ply, and it's 100% recycled packaging. So when I empty this box, I can recycle the packaging, and it is made from bamboo. So it's soft. It's not that scratchy gas station toilet paper. And, or like elementary school. Remember the elementary school toilet paper that was just, probably in high school too. I don't know. I think by high school I learned not to use the toilet. I don't know. But this is wonderful stuff. I'm trying to get into it here, but I guess I should have opened it before I started recording. So it's nice natural color, but you can see they're regular size rolls. They're not the jumbo mega rolls that you can get the major toilet paper manufacturers. So if you were a normal family with children and multiple people, you would probably go through this box of 8 rolls pretty quickly. I am curious as to see, I got 2 of these boxes, so I have 16 rolls of this toilet paper. Part of me thinks this is going to last me all year, but we'll see. We'll check back in at the end of the year, see how I did, depending on if I have like big parties where a bunch of people come over and use my bathroom. But I don't see that happening anytime soon until we're out of the 2nd, 3rd, 5th phase of, yeah, we know where we're at. No need to talk about that right now. So I have this in case I need it, but it was not inexpensive. I think the 2 boxes totaled around $30, so that's 16 rolls of toilet paper. Let's just round up and say $2 a roll with shipping and everything. So yeah, I know back when I had children at home and people in and out of my house, easily would go through a roll of toilet paper in like the downstairs main bath in a couple days or a day sometimes. So maybe not the most economical choice for a lot of people, and I understand that, but it's going to work, I think, for me. So we'll see. So those are just, we could talk about the old adage, if it's yellow, let it mellow, and if it's brown, flush it down. But that's a personal choice on what you want to, how often you want to flush your toilet and the reasonings behind flushing. If you use toilet paper, you probably want to flush every time, or otherwise you're going to have a clog. But if you use bidets and a fabric sheet to wipe yourself, clean yourself, dry yourself, not really clean. Again, you're not really cleaning anything. The bidet's already done the job. Then maybe you could just let that yellow mellow if you want. It's up to you. So anyhow, that's just my first little it's not like I'm still living a disposable lifestyle in every other aspect of my life here in the Dobby house, but this is one small change that I have made for the new year, and we're going to see how that goes. And I'll continue to share some of the other changes that I'm making, and or some of the things I've always done that I've just kind of thought, well, that's the way you're supposed to do things, or things way it's always been done in my household. But now I'm realizing that maybe might be new for some people. Enjoy this conversation about toilet paper, then like and subscribe. If you want to learn more about other ways throughout the house that you can make your home sacred, a sacred place for you, a sacred place for the earth, and that you can do good that will help in your family and your household be a more regenerative and sustainable household for the future, for your children, for your grandchildren, for other people's grandchildren. Let's make the world a better place for everyone, all beings, 2-legged, 4-legged, winged, plant, rock, and air. All the elements, let's all work together. So thanks again for joining me on our potty talk today. And if you want to learn more ways that you can live more sustainably, more regeneratively, and more sacredly in your home and in your life, please like and subscribe and join me here on Spiral Path Healing Arts, my channel, my vlog. And if you have some ideas or suggestions or areas in your life that you're really having a hard time adjusting to, finding alternatives that are more sustainable or even better, more regenerative, then put those in the comments below and we can address them hopefully together and find some solutions. So thanks again. Peace out, witches.